Good morning all. I'm here today to continue the Creative Arts Collaboration Group art exchange that I'm involved with Jane Killin, and to show you what I've been doing the last few days. Well, this is one, and it's a big mistake. I was just trying to do a nice little wall design, and all that happened was I got this vacant area. That's my fault. Now, this is quite nice. This is the bit that came out the middle. Somehow. Somewhere or other it came out of the middle. Probably the other way around. Yes, like that. And that's lovely. I mean, I might actually use that, but it wasn't what I wanted. And there's still one of them in the middle. Anyway, what I actually ended up with was this one. Is that nice? That's good, that one. I can really use that. That's going to give me a lovely wall pattern, which is what I was going for in the first place. That's not what I'm going to use, though. I then tried doing some of these. Now I got same day as I got Jane's background in the post, I got this in the post, which is something I'd ordered. And it's lovely, but it's not mine. So I want to do my own. And it's rubbish. Because it's well, it's my fault to begin with, because I stupidly put the silhouette machine, the setting in the program to 2 for the blade settings. Should have been 4. Set it to 2. Don't know why. Idiot. So it didn't cut properly. So there's loads of it that didn't cut properly. It's a lovely design. I love it to death. But I also think it's rather small, because I made this lovely design with these nice holes here, lots and lots of little tiny holes, and of course on the teeny weeny ones they don't come out, so it's not the best. Bit of a glare there, so I'm trying to get rid of it. I will probably redo that with the same design but without the little holes, but I'll have to do that another time. In the meantime, I tried again with similar designs and changed the designs a bit. And I ended up with all these torn bits, which are not the best. See? Torn. Nice idea, didn't work. But I persisted, and eventually I came up with one that did work. And there it is. Now that's what I'm going to use. Plus, I needed something to accentuate the spirals. Well, I felt I needed something to accentuate the spiral. So, I did that. You fill up the page, I just did some dots to fill it up, so that I didn't want to waste the rest of the acetate, not acetate, what's it called? Transparency film. Anyway, so there we are, I've got my 2 nice designs, my Trilobites and my spiral. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the spiral, what do you call them? I don't know. Lines going inwards on top of Jane's spiral, like that. I thought that might accentuate it, but I'm not sure. I might do it in a green, so I will need to mix some paste with a bit of green to go with that. And then I'm going to put my Trilobites on the top. So I'll probably do the one with the lines and set that before I start onto the next bit. So I'll see you in a bit. Right, I've been looking at all the colours I've got. I started with looking at the Paper Artsy chalk acrylics, which I love using, but I wasn't really happy with the choice of greens. Now the original greens I've got are these: Hey Pesto, Hyde Park and Limelight. And not really happy with those. They're too sort of yellowy. Then I've had a couple of new limited editions, one of which has got chartreuse in it, seaweed, chutney and tikka. All those are kind of browny, including the chartreuse, which was a grave disappointment, because I've got chartreuse in Swelligant, and in that it's beautiful colour. More like limelight, in fact. But this, it's just too murky. And then the other limited edition I got had Professor Plum, Captain Peacock, and Granny Smith and Teresa Green. Yes, again they're a little on the murky side. The Granny Smith is just too yellowy and you know, sort of olivey. That's the thing, olivey. That's too blue, Captain Peacock. It's like an opaque version of Beach Hut, which is lovely, but not what I wanted. So I was sort of stuck with Teresa Green, and then I started pulling out my other acrylics with things like, what's that one? Kelly Green, which is a better idea, but it's too dark really for this. I'd have to mix it with something. Or there's Salo Green, which is too bluey. Well, it's possible for that. Conifer Green, no. Again, going too bluey. Lagoon, no. And that one might have been alright, but it's a metallic mint. No, it's not going to work. So I was thinking I was going to have to mix colours, like with Inky Pool maybe. Too blue on its own. Space Cadet, Baltic Blue, maybe? No, probably not. Bora Bora, much too much. Definitely not. No. And then I got Avocado, no. Getting closer, Soft Green. That's the Do Crafts one. And Spring Green really was the right sort of colour. But I still want a little bit of this darker and possibly a bit of that. So I think those three are going to be it. Possibly. I mean, it doesn't stop me from adding other bits, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add it to some grunge paste. I haven't got much left in here, so I may use this pot. Oh, then again, I may not. Don't know. I can always mix a bit of yellow in to make it the greens a bit better. And I've got a golden yellow there. And of course I've got some quite nice yellows. I mean, I've got Buttercup. And we've always got Zesty Zing from Paper Artsy. And if you want it paler as well, Cheesecake. Oh, Banana. Banana's a nice colour, but anyway, we'll see. We'll see what we get. So I'm going to mix as small as possible, a little pool here, just to try out the colour. And then test it with this. You can see that, can't you? Sort of. Anyway, so we'll push those to the back so you can see. Okay, right. Let's mix that up, and I'll always slow down the stuff afterwards. I think what I'd better do is put a little bit of soft green. Trees of green, maybe. Spring green, soft green. Didn't I say? Those three, yes. A little bit of that. Because that's the predominant colour that's going to work, I think. Thing is, it's very difficult to get a teensy-weensy little bit of a colour. Very difficult. I'm going to need more of other colours than I am of the main one, which is the Kelly Green, Spring Green. I keep forgetting what things are called. Sorry about that. There we go. Now we mix that with a little bit of this. It's the first time I've ever mixed colour with grunge paste, or any kind of paste. Actually, you know, I kind of like it streaky. I'm going to go right now, pop that on top. That's better. And just go for it. Some of it's just going to be paint, I think, and whereas others is going to be... Oh, I've slipped. I've slipped. That's awful. It's slipped. Well, it was fun and exciting, then suddenly it got very much more dangerous. I don't mind it being scratchy actually. I mean, it is a bit scratchy because I've gone offed, but that's alright. I'll have to go over that bit though, I don't want that bit. Right, so I will now move everything out of the way and clean up, and you don't want to watch that, so I'll turn you off for now. Ta-ta! Yes, I've cheated and I've done one already. I was afraid it wasn't going to work. It's worked fairly well. I'm quite happy with that. So I'm now going to do a smaller one, which will be this one, because I'm sure that one's well carved. And I might use a bit more colour actually. A bit of chutney maybe. I used the... which one did I use on that? Tikka. I used Tikka. Where's it gone? Oh, there it is. Tikka. That's the one I used on it. And add a little bit of chutney, because I want this one to be a slightly different colour. But I'm enamoured of this not adding it all in one go business. So that's what I'm trying to do. And that's a good one. So I'm trying not to let that sit on it while putting some more through here. I'm hoping it's going to work. Well, in bits, but then these are Trilobites, and the dang things don't sit about and let you look at them very easily. They get themselves fossilized in a load of earth, which turns to rock, which just smears the outline. So that's on a par, really. I think the best thing to do is to dry that one and then come back. I might use one of the bought ones actually. There's no point having the bought one and not using it at all. Right, I want to do one this side of mine, and I think it's going to be that one. So I want him going inwards, and I've added some colours to the new batch of crunch paste. I've used trees of green, chartreuse, and what's that one? Seaweed. I don't like the chartreuse and seaweed, I don't think I would, but you have to try them. So I've added a little bit of Kelly green on top. Right, and we're going to shop this on. Like that. And then pull that off when it's a bit smeary, but who cares, I've got plans for it afterwards anyway. Now everything is as dry as it's going to get, I reckon. I've left it a fair while. Heat sealed it first and then left it finished. And I really like this one, it's turned out really well. It's actually that way around. I really like that one. It was worth all the effort of going over all the little holes by hand and making sure they were clear. It sort of cut with the silhouette, but they're such tiny holes, and I knew they wouldn't come out in these smaller ones, so I removed those and put a different design, which hasn't come out here and there. And I've used some of these, she calls them nautilus, and actually a nautilus is something that exists now and has a little head on little tentacles and swims about in the sea now. But these look much more to me like ammonites, which are things that used to swim in the sea, very close to the nautilus. So I'm going to go over this with a little bit of something to just bring it up, because I like it so much. I want it to sparkle. Now this is enchanted gold. This is my creative expressions, isn't it? Yes, creative expressions, enchanted gold, metallic gilding wax. So I'm going over these with this, because I just love the wax anyway. I like using it. And it picks up all the lovely ridges so well. Now this has been in there for a while, open but in there for a while, and I closed it up and put it into a Ziploc bag. If anybody has these gilding waxes and has trouble keeping them going, put them in a Ziploc bag and they keep much better. Plus, when they do go and harden up, which they do sometimes, then what I do is I put a little bit of, you sniff it, turpentine. It smells just like turpentine. So obviously that's part of the ingredients, and that helps to reconstitute it so you can use it. I love this. This is quite, gives it a really delicate look. You still get the colour of the original paint that you mixed with the gilder's wax, but you also get that little tiny bit of detail on the ridges. Ooh, lovely, lovely, so lovely. There we go. I do a little bit on each one and it brings out the ridges nicer and gives better detail. You can see that a bit better. See? Lovely. And this one. And you still get the brown colour of this one, but you get a little hint of gold. And you can even put it on there as well. Jane put a little bit of gold on here, but I wanted more gold. I'm not into glitter so much, but shine. Yes. I like a shine. And you can always buff it up afterwards, this. Although, frankly, when it first goes on, it's as sparkly as I really want it. But after a while, these things dull down, and you can go over them then with a soft cloth to just give them a little bit of extra oomph. That's lovely. It shows up the detailing on the Trilobite a bit better. Now this one is one of, what's the names? Carmen Medlin. One of Carmen Medlin's stencils. This is the stencil that arrived the same time as this did. Which made me... actually, I'd thought of doing this before it arrived. I mean, before I opened it, because I opened this and went, ooh, time tunnel, Trilobites. So that's what I've done. Time tunnel, Trilobites. There we go. Now I don't know, I don't think I'll add anything more to that, because I mean there's quite a lot there going on, and you want to be able to see it properly, don't you? So I don't think I want to go over it too much with anything else. Just make sure I picked out all the details of me little Trilobites. And the little, well, I'm calling them ammonites, but nautiluses, whatever. There we go. I think they're lovely. I'm really happy with this one. I know I've said it before, but I'm just so thrilled that it came out alright with its lovely little dots for its eyes. Isn't that nice? Might be a bit bright, you see. There you go. Hopefully that's showing you the nice sparkle. There we go. As much as you get. Right. Now to clean off, all I'd do is I'd use some alcohol wipes. That's what I've got. Alcohol wipes. Looks like my little thingy is coming off completely. That's alright. Put him back in. See, I've got mess on one finger, but never mind. Pop this into its little baggins. See, it's Ziploc tight, so it doesn't let any air in or out. There you are. Perfectly happy in there. I put my little Gleams ones in a bag like that as well. So there we are. Didn't show you this before, but I decided I needed a bit more colour, so I'm going over this with Treasure Gold Ruby. Okay. Or at least I hope that focused. Is it focused? I hope so. Anyway, just going over it a little tiny bit so as to give it a little bit more oomph. I didn't feel that the gold was quite doing it. And I'm leaving areas where there's just gold so that we get that as well. There we see. It is a lovely colour, this one. A new one for me, and that's why I am probably using too much, but tough. And I've got a couple of other things I want to do. I don't think it's quite there. There we go. I've discovered, because the alcohol wipes are somewhere else, you can also clean up perfectly well with these. Like the alcohol wipe will do it when this has gone quite dry and won't come off with a baby wipe. So it does come off, but it's freshly on there, so there you go. Little tip for you. There we are. That's focusing, isn't it? More or less. Showing the colours. I've got a little tiny bit more to do to this, and I'll come back to you when I'm ready for that part. Well, I'm hoping that this is working, because it seems that my camera is fluctuating rather. So it may not work. May be dying. I hope not, but we'll have to see. Yes. There and there. I think that's about it. That would hurt me little pen. It sounds a bit scratchy when it's touching down there. But ho hey. Except of course it's actually hey ho. I'm just concentrating somewhat because I don't see very well. I'm trying to make sure you can see as well as me. Got an eye up at the end of this month and another one at the beginning of November. So you get both eyes done. I hope it works out. Kind of scary and exciting all at the same time. Because you don't know, do you? May turn out to be the worst thing I've ever done. Excuse me if it's a bit scratchy, but I quite like that. I really want to do a little bit more to this, because it's sort of not quite there. And that's one of Carmen Medlin, is that her name? said it before. Come on, Madeline. Yes, it's one of hers. Didn't come out quite right. That's not her fault. I don't think it's mine either. I think it's because I'm foolishly trying to do it over lots of other texture. But that's me. Ho-hum. I'm quite pleased with that. I don't suppose anybody else will be. Because everybody's taste is different. But I'm glad to have brought this one up. And there we are, really. Ho-hum. Just a question of popping it in the post now. That's it. So what I'm doing is just adding a little touch. This is the only gold pen I've been able to find. Pilot. Pilot's usually a pretty good make, but it's having to struggle here against an almost complete lack of usability on the pen. I've shaken and shaken this pen. I've pressed and pressed it, and it is sort of working as much as I can get it to. There we go. Yes, dear, no need to bark. No, ladies and gentlemen, don't want to hear you barking. Shut up. This thing hasn't decided to go funny. My camera's on the blink, I'm afraid. Trouble is, I don't know that I can actually afford to buy a new one. I keep hoping it's going to wait until after I pay for my website. My husband does pay for it every other year. Anybody know how to clear out these pens and get them working again properly? Because I'm having a lot of trouble with this one. I'm sorry, I'll have to speed this up, especially over the bit with the dog barking. And you won't hear that. Well, that's better. I wouldn't say it was perfect, but it's certainly better than it was. Yeah, it's not bad. One of these store horizontals is it? Yeah, it's store horizontal. Got a whole load of those. Right, everything else is dry, so that'll take, a few seconds to dry, and I'll pop it in the post as soon as I've got myself an envelope. Actually, I've got an envelope, haven't I? The one it came in. Wonder where that is. I'll go find it. Ta-ta!